Good morning. It is Wednesday, November 22nd. I am MTK on the MIC. 60 years ago today, Roscoe White fired the kill shot, the bullet that hit John F. Kennedy in the head, assassinating him completely. White was probably a soldier in an as yet unnamed CIA. The office would have been the OSS in Europe and become the National Security Agency in that window after the war. The long chain of command that leads to the assassination and the work of the soldier who was part of a three-man team for whom Lee Harvey Oswald was the patsy cover and remains the patsy cover. The structure of all of that was probably led by Hunt, an employee of George Herbert Walker Bush, who at that time would be present for the birth of the CIA and would be in the CIA his entire life. He denied it while running for office, but was in the CIA. He ended up failing to win an election over and again. People did not want this guy, and then managed to manipulate the Republican Party so he could ride Reagan's coattails to the White House for just one term. And that term, what a term it was, because the amount of internationally illegal covert war engaged by George Herbert Walker Bush and his group, Cheney, Halliburton, KBR, the group that took over power through the mechanism of assassination of Kennedy, a small group of men, obviously. It's not that hard to imagine when you know the times. There was no media. The public couldn't even see the Zapruder film until decades later, decade and a half later. So there's just too much evidence. The structure of the cover-up is so deep within the wells of the NSA and the American military might. Newspapers in Idaho with highly detailed description of the sole assassin within hours of the thing is insane. Yellow journalism or straight propaganda from the offices of the FBI or CIA. Doesn't matter who did it. The point is whoever's left is the winners, and policy changed. The humanist was dead. The racial harmonist was gone. And that leads us to the rest of the century, the second half of the century. The assassination of Kennedy 60 years ago today, if you look into it, takes a while, and I have been doing it now for 40 years now. Yeah, almost 40 years. I have read interviews, read the Warren Commission report, seen videos, watched documentaries, waded through disinformation, and I've never said on the record what I'm saying right now, but I'm saying it. This is what I think went down. Three-man team within which Roscoe White is one of the men. He ends up being the guy. And the cover is the story, laid down. And the men who are in the grouping of people who proceed to take over then do a 180-degree turn on foreign policy, leading to the Vietnam War. Build up a military using corporate interest to build military. That's the whole point of KBR, Halliburton, the groups. The various corporate faces go back to the First World War. Oil companies seeking oil abroad. This is well documented in Sinclair's book. Yeah, that's what I think went down, and I think who's responsible. And I don't ever want to talk about this again. I don't see any point. I've come to this place where I just needed to at least express it once. But I really don't want to talk about it. I see no point.